In this series, I will be featuring the newly released 23mm lens from Fujifilm, the latest addition to the ever-growing number of SF lenses that are on offer. With me, I have 5 invited friends who are professional photographers to also put this lens through its paces. Join me in this series to find out about their experiences as they embark on a journey through a myriad of photography genres to excite and dazzle us. Hello everybody, I have with me my good friend Ejun, portrait photographer. He will be using the new 23mm lens on the ST4 for his photo shoot. So Ejun, share with us how is this lens going to help you today?
Thank you, William. As you know, I'm not somebody who usually would use a 23mm because it's a little bit wider than what I normally use. I'm a portrait photographer, right? And most of my photographs are done in a studio setting whereby I like to have a little bit more focal length. But to be honest, this isn't a lens that is unfamiliar with me because I actually use a 23mm on my Fuji X100V as well. So let's give it a try today and see what I can get out of it. I think one of the things I really like about this new lens, the 23mm from Fujifilm, is that it's a very well balanced lens in front of my grip X-T4. I'm pretty used to photographing with a much heavier 150-140, which is for most of my portrait works actually. But I can totally see myself carrying the 23mm on contextual and location shoots, hand holding it pretty long, simply because it's a very well balanced lens. Considering that it's also fully metal constructed, I mean, it's just beautiful to hold, it's sexy as hell. So that's probably something that I really enjoy as well. The other thing I really like about it is that my studio tends to be a little bit dark, is what I call expressive or emotive, so that clients can feel a little bit more at home in the studio. I really like to have a lens that focuses really fast when I'm shooting in a low light situation. So that's something that I think the 23mm can deliver pretty well as well. Not just focuses fast, but it also has to focus pretty accurately because I rely a lot on the X-T4's eye detection for a lot of my portrait works as well. So I'm glad to see that just based on the pictures that I've taken today, this lens delivers both of them quite perfectly as well. There's another thing I really like about the lens is that it's a lens that is really sharp. For a portrait photographer like me, I determine sharpness by having the lashes to be what I call as clear and as sharp as possible, because really the eyes is really what you want to focus on. And when I'm looking through the images from today's session, the photos are just tack sharp. One of the things that people might not think much about 23mm is that the 23mm doesn't lend itself as a usual portrait lens. And in fact, for me, most of the time I'm using a 50mm or a 56mm for most of my portrait work. But sometimes when I'm using when I want to have a more quirky or a little bit more of an expressive character or personality shot, I would snap on a 23 or a 35mm lens just so that I can bring it a lot closer towards the subject, so that the personality comes out a little bit. Yes, indeed, it might look a little bit wider, it might look a little bit more unflattering, but these are the shots that I think truly brings out the character or personality of a subject. And I think that all photographers should actually add some of these wide-angle lenses into their kit, just for that kind of shot. Well, last but not least, is this a lens that I would carry around with me, for my travels? Definitely, because I totally can see it as being like a absolutely wonderful walk-around lens, right? For my travels and location work. Well, of course, all of that being said, we still have the pandemic to get through, but eventually I would love to bring this around me around the world so that I can get some more of these cultural portraits, which I shoot a lot of as well. think overall, if you ask me whether this is a lens that I would like to have in my kit, I think definitely. It's well balanced, it's technically super sharp, but more importantly, I think it lends itself with very different kind of like a feel or personality if you're a portrait photographer, especially if you shoot a lot of portraits in the studio. For contextual and location photographers, I think this is easily a to-go-to lens, so that I'll definitely recommend it if you are doing a lot of portrait works on location, or even if you're a travel photographer as well. Will it ever replace my X100V as my to-go-to travel camera? Maybe not, but if I were to carry around X-T4, then this definitely finds itself somewhere along in my bag. All in all, I think I would advise you guys to give it a try, have a go, and you just might like it as much as I do.